Steve, congratulations on winning a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Football League. You must be delighted with that.
I'm very honoured. Couldn't believe it when I was told. I thought it was a bit of a wind-up. Yeah, what do you say to something like that? You know, you just something you don't even think about or can even imagine would come your way when you're a young kid starting out at 16. So yeah, I'm very privileged and very humbled. Yeah.
And it has particular significance because it's named in memory of Tom Finney.
Yeah, I just found out this week the award, which is a Lifetime Achievement Award for services to football, is now going to be named the Sir Tom Finney Award, and it's fantastic because my granddad played for England and Derby County when they were then a Premier League team, which was obviously League One, and he played with Tom Finney, or Sir Tom Finney, in the England setup, along with the likes of Stanley Matthews, Jackie Milburn, Stan Mortensen, some legends of the game. So yeah, it has a significance meaning. My nana, who's still alive, she was friends with Sir Tom Finney. So yeah, you know, it's got a connection there. A very small one from my point of view, but yeah, it means a hell of a lot.
What's driven you throughout your career to contribute more than just playing football, do you think?
I don't know. People ask me that question all the time. Why did I play for 24 years? A love of the game. Because if you don't have a love and a passion for the game, then you know it goes by the wayside and you lose interest. I think you've got to have that drive and that determination and dedication. You know, I get asked all the time whether I'm in schools now with my ambassador role, or you know, just out in the community, or you know, even at events with big companies. And I speak on behalf of the football club, and they say to me, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to get into football? And I say, you just got to be dedicated, because if you're not dedicated, you know, there's a lot of other people who are, and they're willing to fill your place. But you know, I think that 24 years, even at the level I played at, was a massive achievement for me. You know, I did miss out on a couple of little things I wanted to do, and as we know, one was playing the Championship at the next tier of English football. But you know, if I look at the things that I have achieved, and I weigh them up against the things I didn't, I've still done a million times more than I ever could have dreamt of as a child, kicking the ball around the streets of Hartlepool.
And your Fletcher's bar here is various memories that you've got. There's your hat-trick ball and the special boot there. Just tell us about the highs of your career.
Yeah, I always keep my little memories in here. You know, it's not a shrine to Steve Fletcher. It's just me looking back and being very proud of what I've achieved. And yeah, there's been one hat-trick, so I may as well keep the ball. And you know, breaking the club record, playing at Wembley, which was a boyhood dream, and then to score in the playoff final at Cardiff at the Millennium Stadium. The stand named after us, you know, the dreams of it. You know, you grow up. Like I say, when I was a young lad in Hartlepool and just thinking about playing for Hartlepool United, you know, you don't think, never mind to the next week, to the next year, 10 years, 20 years. So like I say, I've missed out on a couple of things. It's every boyhood's dream to play in the Premiership. Of course it is, and be at the top level, play for your boyhood team, Liverpool. But I still wouldn't take away from what I have achieved, albeit in League One or the third tier of English football.
And a special shirt of your last goal against Walsall, a few famous names on there?
Yeah, it's up on the wall. I've got my Millennium shirt, my testimonial shirt, and alongside it my last ever goal for AFC Bournemouth away at Walsall 2012, and I got the championship winning squad, AFCB, to sign it this season, and I got a few big names on there from Real Madrid, you know, Kaká, Zidane, Ancelotti, Ronaldo. Yeah, so I'm quite proud of it. It takes pride of place on my wall behind it.
Just tell us about that football club that you joined 1992. Just tell us about the differences between then and now.
It's amazing, isn't it, to see not just cosmetically, but you know, on the pitch as well, how it's changed. You know, I came down from Hartlepool in '92. Hartlepool was a really small club. Bournemouth was a little bit bigger, with good ambitions, good manager with Tony Pulis, and gave me my opportunity to play first team football, which wasn't easy to come by at Hartlepool. I was, you know, on the bench most weeks for Hartlepool. I think I played about 42 games, but over a 2-year period, wasn't too bad. But you know, I took a gamble, and you know, I believe in my heart of heart the gamble paid off. You know, 19 and a half seasons at Bournemouth, you know, it's a long time, and like I said, I've had some ups and downs, but the ups far outweigh the downs, and you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, a young lad can only dream of playing one professional football game. You know, I had over 800. So, yeah, I think not just myself proud, but I think my mum and dad are very proud. You know, I didn't reach the heights of what my granddad did. Like I said, he played for England with Sir Tom Finney. You know, I would have liked to have achieved even half of what he achieved at that level. It wasn't too bad, I suppose. Got a good few games under my belt.
Go back to 94, 95, and you won the Supporters Player of the Year that year, playing a number of games in central defence. Now, you know, had you have gone down that season, it could have been a very different story for you and the club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember when Mel Machin come in, I'd went to Sean O'Driscoll, who was caretaker manager at the time, along with John Williams, and Mark Morris was helping out the captain. And I said, look, I don't think it's going to be for me here. And you know, I hadn't had a great start to my career at AFC Bournemouth for 2 years, blighted with injury, and the goals didn't come, and wasn't really playing well. Bournemouth were languishing down the bottom end of the table for both seasons. I mean, you know, Tony lost his job through that. But you know, it's character building, because Mel Machin come in and he made me want to stay. He gave me my love for football back, love for Bournemouth, and we had a great escape, which helped. And you know, and from me wanting to leave in, I think it was the October when Mel took over, to get the Supporters Player of the Year. You know, 8 months later, it was phenomenal, and I think that was the change around for me. And you know, I'd like to say I haven't looked back since at the club I love.
There was one chance with Queen's Park Rangers, I know, to step into the second flight, and you decided to stay loyal.
Yeah, Jerry Francis was the manager, and you know, our gaffer Eddie always winds me up about it. And is Jerry still around? You might get that move, Fletch, that you always dreamed of. But listen, you know, you make your decision and you live by it. And I have no regrets. You know, I always think, what if this could have been? What if that could have been? What if Bournemouth could have been promoted? You know, early on in my career, you know, we missed out. You know, just in the playoffs or in and around the playoffs on a few occasions. But QPR went flying in League One, which was obviously the Championship now, and we were doing really well. And I thought we could have maybe swapped divisions, and I decided to stay, and you know, I'm glad I did. Yeah, I always think it would have been nice to play the level above, but you make your decision and you stand by it. And I've seen players go off and get that bigger move, but the grass isn't always greener, and 2-3 years later, not only are they not playing at the level they moved to, they end up dropping further down and then out of football. So when you look at it from that point of view, you know, I think I made the right decision. Well, I'm 100% sure I did. Just
tell us about the role that you've got now, because you've had a promotion already, having only just taken over in the summer.
Yeah, it was that one. You know, I'm not going to lie about it. It was heartbreaking to retire. Not just for me, but I think for the gaffer as well, for the decisions made between both of us. And I just think maybe getting into the Championship was that little bit step too far for me. You know, I was 2 months away, short from my 41st birthday, which was ridiculous, really. You know, and I was offered a scouting role and to be ambassador for the football club, and with us getting promoted into the Championship, there was a lot more things for me to do being the ambassador. It wasn't just going into schools and charity events in the community, you know, it was going into businesses. You know, I speak at things like the Dorset Chamber of Commerce, you know, through the commercial department, and Rob Mitchell, you know, he's got me involved in a lot of things with the club going forward. You know, and I just wanted to be at the football club. Yeah, I probably could have played another season, maybe two, coming off the bench, impact player, but I didn't want to go to a club that I had no affection for or affiliation with. You know, why do that? Because 12 months down the line, 2 years down the line, I'm back in the same position. Somebody else will have got the scouting role at Bournemouth, somebody else might have the ambassador role, and you're soon forgotten. So, you know, I wanted to stay at the club I loved. I wanted to work with Eddie and Jason and be around AFC Bournemouth, and when the gaffer offered me those positions, you know, I jumped at the opportunity. I never even contemplated going to any club. I had a lot of people phone up and ask me if I would give it some consideration. I said, no, I'll play five-a-side on a Thursday night down a little down, and I'll do my scouting role. And I enjoyed it. You know, I got my teeth into it and I'm enjoying it. Nothing will compare to playing football. Nothing. Winning the Euro millions, mate. But that's about it. But it's the best job in the world. It is. And it still breaks my heart sometimes when I watch games and want to be out there. I'm heading and kicking every ball. But the next best thing is to be in and around the club you love. And for me, it's fantastic. And then to be promoted at Christmas time, with the gaffer giving me the head of recruitment, you know, it's given me a lot of responsibility, and I look forward to hopefully a bright future in that side of the game.
And then you're really working for a living now, doing some
yeah, the hours. Yeah, the hours are a constant, and it's, you know, I laugh about it, but you've got to reshape your life really, because you know my wife was used to me going in at 9:30, 10 o'clock, coming back by 1. You know, now sometimes I'm in the ground by 8, half 8. You know, back home 6, 7, back out to a game. Maybe not getting in till 1, 2 in the morning, but you know, you just have to reshuffle your life and readjust. And yeah, people say, well, you're working for a living now, Fletch, but you know, I'm still working at a football club, and you know, for me, that's an honour.
Had things been different, you may have been in the manager's chair. Just sort of go back over your period as assistant manager.
Yeah, I had a great 10 months as assistant manager. You know, I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, I learned a lot of things during that period, but I learned a lot more when I stepped down as well. And hopefully that will hold me in good stead for the future. I think it has as a person and the way I look at things. But you know, if I ever got an opportunity to get back into management, you know, I think, because I don't want to totally dismay that option, because you never know. You can't say never in football. You can't say I won't do this, I won't do that. Not that I'm, you know, exactly looking for that at this present time. I'm not. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but I think the 10 months that I had gave me a good education, made me see things a little bit different, and like I say, will hold me in good stead for the future.
You know Maxim Demmin, you know Eddie Howe, you know the club. How far can it progress?
Well, the way it's progressed in the last couple of years, I mean, you know, anything is possible. You know, and Eddie took over, and the gaffer. I always call him Gaffer now. I know I've known him for 20 years, but I have to call him Gaffer. You know, we were what, 21st in the league. We rocketed to the top of the league, and nobody thought that would be possible. We could take us back even when the stadium was built. Was that 11, 12 years ago? And to look at it now, it's phenomenal. So where we can go, you know, anything. I really think anything is possible. I mean, I know Max has ambitions and aspirations to get in the Premiership, but why not? Because I think if in football, and we've experienced this, if you stand still and you're happy with what you've got and you're content, you'll take a backward step. You've got to keep striving to go forward, and if it's one step at a time, you know, a couple of places up the league next year higher than what we would finish this season, then that's a progress. And with an ambitious manager the way we have, and how meticulous he is, and along with JT, you know, we've got the foundations there. You know, it is fabulous to see where it's come from, and you have to look back 4 years and then go back maybe 14 years and just realise and pinch yourself how far this club has come. And it ain't just because it's happened overnight with a bit of money. It's happened because everyone's put a shift in, and it ain't just the players or the management or the owners or the chairman. You know, it's the staff, it's the supporters. Everybody's bought into it, and I think it's more than a club to be proud of for this town. And for me, we can only go, you know, higher and higher. How quick we can go there, you know, a lot of factors, you know, have to come into play along the way, and who knows? We will see. Be interesting.
And a Lifetime Achievement Award for Steve Fletcher, but by no means the end of what you want to achieve at the club, I would imagine.
I think it could be my last ever award. But yeah, I am so honoured, and no, I want the club to go and achieve more and more, and me be part of it, even if it's just, you know, in the background, because it's the club I love, and you know, 21 years down on the South Coast. I've spent over half my life down here now. Came down just shy of my 20th birthday, and I'll be 42 in July, so yeah, over half my life, and I think that the club is a special place in everyone's heart, but for me it is my club, because it's a club I've come to love, and you know, there's not many players nowadays will stay at a club for 2 or 3 years, you know, to stay there for just shy of 20. I'm very proud of that, and it's something hopefully, you know, my children will tell their children, and it will go on throughout the generations of my family, because like I say, I'm really honoured.
Congratulations from everyone at the
Thank you,
accolade.
Neil. Thank you.
Well done.
Cheers, pal.